everybody, welcome in or welcome back. Today I kind of just wanted to take you through what I've been up to recently. I don't have a set plan for this video. I just kind of want to check in, show you what I've been up to. So since my last video, which was about my first ever farmer's market, I have gone to a second one, which was nice, so I can talk about that a little bit. I have also been working on a couple little projects here and there, and I am also in the process of probably making my own pattern. We'll get to that, but some very exciting stuff to talk about today. Also, in case you haven't noticed the incredible quality of this video right now, I got a new camera. So I'm very excited about that, very happy. I had been using a really big camera. It's like meant for photos, you know? I've had it since I was in high school, which almost 10 years ago now, so it's kind of old. I think my dad might have also used it before that to take pictures of my softball games. So yeah, it's a pretty old camera, not really meant for video. It'll do it and it was fine, but not really what it's meant for. And since it was so big, like setting it up on the tripod and doing the whole thing, I got over it. I think all of my wedding flower footage was filmed on that camera, and then I switched to my phone. And like the phone was fine, it was easy, but I feel like the quality wasn't that good. I recorded everything for the My First Market video on my phone, and like it looked fine when I was editing the video, but when I put it onto YouTube, like the quality went down a lot. I don't know if that's because of like the laptop I was using to edit it on. That's also very old. Like my internet speed isn't great at times. Like, I don't know, something with like downloading it from the computer and uploading it to YouTube. The quality got messed up. But I posted it anyway because I had all of it. I made the video, so quality just wasn't as good. But with this one, it looks incredible. If I keep looking over here, it's because that's where like the little screen is. And like it looks so nice, it's so crisp. But yeah, it also has a little microphone attachment on the top, so hopefully the audio is good. I feel like I haven't had a lot of issues with audio, but sometimes it's not as crisp as it could be, I guess. So yeah, that was item number one, brand new camera. Recently, I also went through and organized my yarn stash. I have a lot of yarn, and it was kind of in like 4 different places around my apartment. So one of the places was in this beautiful hope chest that my dad made, and that was originally where I wanted to store all of it. And I put a lot in there, and then I just never added more to it. The chest was also in our closet, kind of like on the bottom, so it wasn't super easy to access. So I had a lot in there. This brown thing right here is just full of yarn. Like you can kind of see it behind my cat. Like those cubbies I just put yarn in. So I started putting them there when I was making my flowers for the wedding. And then I have like a little rolly cart with a couple shelves that had some other yarn in it, and then just random bags. So I had yarn pretty much everywhere. And that kind of led me to, one, not remembering like what yarn I have. And then 2, like I wouldn't use the yarn in the hope chest or on the rolly cart because like my main yarn was over here. So I just wouldn't use that up. But I went through, we brought the hope chest out into the living room so it's more accessible. And then I went through and like looked at everything that was in the hope chest, got out the little rolly cart, and then went through these cubbies and some of the bags. And like, wow, I have a lot of yarn. Really don't need to be buying anymore. Will I? Probably, but I shouldn't. So when I was going through and organizing, I also caked a bunch of it. Some of them were in rough shape, and I had started untangling and just gave up. There was this one ball that was like so tangled. It was one of those like Pound of Love balls, so it was a lot of yarn. It was so tangled up, I put it down for like months. Like I couldn't do it. And then I came back to it, got it untangled. It really wasn't that bad, so I don't know. I don't know if it was fresh eyes or what, but I got a lot of it untangled, caked up a bunch of other yarn that was kind of like on the verge of getting really bad. So hopefully that won't happen. I'm very, very bad at storing my yarn in a way that they won't get tangled. So I'm trying to be better about that. And then I found a ton of yarn I didn't know I had. So When I first started crocheting, I would just kind of like buy one ball of a yarn that looks cool. I'd be like, oh, this is a pretty color, like, ooh, this is soft, and I would buy one ball or skein of it. And like, now that I'm more experienced, there's not like a ton of things you can do with just one ball of yarn. So that was kind of interesting that I would just like buy one ball of yarn here or there, and obviously I never used it. And two, like, some of that yarn is really nice quality. And like, I feel like I had no business buying a like cotton silk blend yarn when I first started. Like, I don't know how to crochet. What am I gonna make with cotton silk blend? So I was going through it and I was like, wow, I have a lot of good stuff in here that I didn't know I had. Because I started crocheting 5 years ago, so it's been 5 years since I've seen it. So I have a little like white metal organizer with like shelves. I bought it for the market. Actually, it folds up and down. But I don't think I'll have enough stuff to sell at the market to warrant needing like a whole like 3-foot shelving thing. So I'm using it for yarn storage instead. It is being very well used. So the first 2 shelves, how many shelves are there? It's right here. There are 4 shelves, and I guess half of them, the top 2 are just cotton yarn, which is crazy because I feel like I only just started buying cotton yarn, so I'm like, where did all of this come from? So yeah, that was really exciting. I used that cotton silk blend that I mentioned to start the Sophie scarf. I'm like halfway done with it. I just started the decreases. That's been my work project. So at my job at 9 a.m. and 2 p.m., like, not everybody in the building, but those are like walk times. So pretty much everybody in the building will like take a lap around the building, like a 15-minute break. And I live in Nevada in the desert, very hot in the summer. And at 2 p.m., that's almost peak temperature and the UV index is crazy. So instead of walking at 2 p.m., I've been finding like a little shady area and knitting. And that way I feel like I can kind of bring in some of my like hobby and make work more fun while also being at work, you know? Can't knit at my desk, I wish I could. I also bring it to lunch, so when I'm done eating, I usually have like 15 minutes left, so instead of sitting on my phone or whatever, I can knit. So I've almost exclusively worked on the Sophie scarf at work, which has been really nice, actually. So yeah, the cotton silk blend is a 50-gram ball. It's really small. I was like, what do I even do with this? But the Sophie scarf is perfect. So I'm glad I found a project for that little skein of yarn. Some of the other cotton that I have was for some shirts that I wanted to make for my now husband and brother. I started one for my brother. I'm not good at making clothes, so I like used a t-shirt as like a template, and I was like, this doesn't feel long enough, so I added like a couple more stitches to the bottom, and it was a dress. I got like halfway through like the first half, because it's done in like halves, but I did like half of the first half of the shirt, and like I held it up to myself and I was like, oh, like I'm shorter, maybe it's different. I held it up to my husband and like it was a dress, so I frogged the whole thing and then put it down for like a year. So I have like 10 balls of cotton yarn for that, and then 10 for my husband, and so I just recently restarted making the shirts. So that was a big chunk of what the cotton that I currently have is for. Some was like gifted. Most of it I bought when I first started though. There's this one skein I'll show you, and it's kind of crazy that I bought it when I first started, because like now I actually like know the brand. I know more about the like the fiber content. Like I would know how to use it better now. So I'm really happy I didn't use it when I first started, because most of the stuff I made when I first started, I'm planning on frogging. I made a lot of like little tank tops and stuff that I haven't worn like ever. So I'm gonna frog them, hopefully get some yarn back, we'll see. That's a future video idea. But yeah, very happy I didn't use any of my nice yarns when I first started. So I'll show you that one skein. It's gorgeous. And yeah, so organizing it took a minute for sure, but it was much needed. I feel a lot better now about kind of knowing what yarn I have and like what I'm able to use, what I might be able to do with it. It is mostly acrylic. I would say like 90% of the yarn I have is acrylic, which is fine. That's most of what I use anyway. But I have wanted to venture into more like natural fiber, so it's nice to have a bunch of cotton on hand for that. Besides farmer's market and organizing yarn. I have some projects that I can show you. One is basically done, I just have to block it. I have a couple in progress. So I wanted to try and keep myself to like a 3 whip maximum, but I don't think I can do that. I tend to have multiple different projects going at once, and I feel like 3 is just not enough. I recently got bored with the things I was making, so I was like, oh, I'm tired of making plushies for the market. I want to break from that. I don't really want to work on this one thing that I have to work on, but I'll do that later. And so I was like, let's just start another one. Who cares? It's fine, right? So I kind of show you my current whips. I have them all in a bag right here. I'm also really bad at keeping my whips in like a central place. Usually they're just kind of like scattered around the apartment, like, oh, I last worked on it laying in bed, it's in my bedroom now, you know. So I put them all in a bag, and I'm gonna kind of go from there with it. Hopefully that keeps it more organized. So I started getting into tapestry crochet a couple months ago, like maybe like 2 months ago, and got super into it. Finished 2 tapestries in like a week. I haven't done any since. Most of the ones I wanted to make needed black yarn, and I didn't have any. I have since gotten black yarn. So the first tapestry I made is for my brother for his birthday. I need to add a backing to it and kind of like make the rod look nicer, but we're both very big fans of The Lord of the Rings, so I couldn't find an actual pattern for this, but I found one of those diamond dots pictures, you know, and it's the Eye of Sauron. So I ended up taking each little diamond dot and equating that to a stitch, and then I used Excel to make a big spreadsheet. I might have footage from when I was working on it, I'm not sure. If I do, I might throw some in this video. But here it is. And like, I think this looks pretty insane for a first tapestry piece. Like, look at this. That's crazy. And I finished this really fast. This does have black yarn in it, and the only black yarn I had was like really thick. It was probably like a weight 5, but I was impatient and I was like, no, I'm gonna use it. So it's a little bumpy, but here's a close-up. So I tried a couple different methods for tapestry crocheting. I know there's a couple ways you can do it. And I started by like carrying the yarn over across the row with me, but I could just see it through the stitches, and that really, it didn't sit well with me, you know, like I didn't like being able to see the gray yarn behind the yellow yarn, you know, when it should be a yellow stitch. So I ended up just kind of carrying them across the whole back. So the back is kind of a nightmare. This is what the back looks like. So it's just a bunch of yarn that was carried over, and this is part of the reason why I want to put a backing on it so you don't see it. And then second is that it's kind of warped. So like you can see it doesn't sit flat. Like this whole eye, mostly in the middle, it's kind of puffed outward. So like you can kind of see, maybe not. It's kind of puffed like outward, and it kind of folds like in on itself. So I want to use the backing to like force it into a square. I did block it, I steam blocked it, but I think it just needs some support on the back. I think I want to try and make tapestries for my family for Christmas. So I made one for my aunt who loves Winnie the Pooh. So yeah, here's that. I think this one also turned out so cute. This one I tried again with carrying the yarn like through the rows and through the stitches, and I hated it. So again, the back of this one is a little crazy, but I mean the back of this one looks a lot better than the first one. So I learned a lot from that first one. But yeah, I think this one is incredibly cute, and I also need a backing for it. But yeah, this one I finished in like 2 days. I just like really got in the spirit one night and did almost half of it. So yeah, those are some of the things in my project bag that are pretty much done, but not quite because I need backing and stuff. Hopefully I'll be able to make little tapestries for my family. I don't know if they'll all be quite as big as this Winnie the Pooh is, This one was really easy because it's not very complicated. It's kind of like color blocky versus the eye where it's like one stitch is this color, one is that color, then two of that other color. So I don't know if they'll all be as big, but I'm sure if they're very simple like that Winnie the Pooh is, I can make them bigger because they won't take as long. And then what else do I have in here? I recently finished a pattern by Jewel Makes, and it is the basic mesh vest. So here's mine. The yarn that I used for this, I originally started making a knit vest, but I only had 2 balls of it, and I got like not even halfway through the front panel and was running out of yarn. So I stopped knitting it, as you do, and just left it on the needles for like a year and a half, maybe longer, until I finally decided to frog it. I don't know what kind of yarn it is. I didn't have the labels. I'm also very bad about keeping the labels, but it's really soft. Has a nice halo with it. Here's kind of like a close-up maybe of the fabric. But yeah, it's pretty heavy, so this will definitely be like a fall winter vest, but I need to block it. This is the one I was saying I need to block, but like I think it looks so cute. I think it turned out really good. And so this kind of inspired me to start making another vest. So I used that for inspiration and kind of started making my own vest. It's not in here, it's in a different bin. And my cat just sat on my lap. Sorry, Zelda. Say hi. I bought this yarn specifically for it. I do like it. I thought it would be a bit more variegated and less blocky. But here's how my vest is looking. I have like the whole back and then the 2 like front bits. So yeah, I've been working on this, kind of writing out what I've done, not as well as I should have, but I'll fix that eventually. And then I do want to add some sort of like border around this because like it's very simple. It helps having like a bunch of different colors in it, but I want to make it like a little fancier with some sort of bordering. So that is something I want to do today, or in this vlog generally, is kind of figure out what kind of border I want to put on it. I have a bunch of old crochet books and magazines, and by old I mean like antique, you know. My husband got a bunch for me for Christmas one year, and I know at least one of them is like a little magazine that's just a bunch of different borders. So I want to look at that and maybe I can get some ideas for the border for this. Here's that yarn I was talking about that like now I know more about the fiber content. I actually recognize this brand. I was like, why did I have this? So here she is. And like it is so soft. Like this is very, very nice. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet because again, I don't have a ton of it. I have this one skein that is 100 grams or 109 yards. So I might knit with it just because I don't need as much yarn for knitted projects, but we'll see. This is something that I want to use eventually. So back to my project bag, and back to Jewel Makes patterns, I guess. I wanted to make I'll put the name of it somewhere up here, but I wanted to make it after I saw Blondie Knots wearing it, and I thought it was just incredible. So I have this 100% polyester yarn that I have been using. It's very, very soft, like insanely soft. So here's how far I've gotten with it. I had considered frogging it because I don't know if I love like this material for it. I have 2 balls of this yarn that I was going to use. I don't know, I kind of put this one on hold because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. So I think like, I mean, it looks really good in the little viewfinder screen thing, but I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be really heavy, which isn't really a big deal. It's just something to consider. So yeah, I kind of put this on pause because I don't know what I want to do with it yet. If you have any ideas or feedback, please let me know. This one I started like probably like a month ago, and I've just like had it on pause because I don't know what to do with it. If you're my friend, my one friend with children, stop watching for a little bit. I don't know if she watches, but if she does, I don't want to spoil anything. So stop watching. But she has one child currently and she's pregnant with her second, and so I wanted to make them matching sweaters. So I have this, it's not seamed up yet, but here's close up. This is some of the cotton yarn that I have, that I bought. So I have this little brown sweater. Her current child is almost 2, but I made this in like a 4-year-old size just so they can wear it for longer. And then for the other one I'm gonna make, I'm probably gonna do that in like a 1 to 2-year-old size, again, so they can wear it longer. Obviously, when they're born, they won't fit into it, but the goal is to have them be able to wear it for longer than like 2 months. So yeah, that is pretty much all of the things I have in progress. I will likely work on some of these things in this vlog, hopefully. So yeah, I will check in again eventually at some point with whatever I'm doing, and we will go from there. Future me. I filmed pretty much all of the footage that I put into this vlog back in like July, and right now it is almost September. Tomorrow is September, so it's kind of a while ago, and I had a lot more footage, but I hit a button on my camera that changed the setting, and so it didn't record any sound, and my FPS was like half, so it was like slow-mo with no sound. So that is unusable. I used some of it for just like me crocheting in some of the previous clips, and I was able to just edit the FPS to look normal but no sound. So that's unfortunate. I guess lesson learned, check the setting that your camera's on, because I like would go to hit like the button to record or whatever, and I would hit the wrong button and it would change the setting, and I didn't know that. So here I am now, kind of filming an outro for this, but since it is also so far in the future from when I recorded those first bits, I did finish the sweaters. So I put them in the washing machine, and they're still kind of laying flat to dry. They're still a little damp, but I can take you in the laundry room and show you what those look like. They look pretty cute. I ended up, it's like I made one pretty far in advance, and then I made the second one later, and for the first one, I made like a 4T size using like a 5mm hook. And then the second one, I made a 2T, but I used like a 5.5mm hook. And so they're like almost the same size because I used a different hook size on accident. So I'm just gonna give my friend both of them and be like, whichever one fits, like just put them in that, I guess. And I did notice the yarn after being washed, it kind of lost its stitch definition, which a little upsetting. It's not the end of the world. And it kind of got fuzzy. Like, it isn't pilling, but it got a little fuzzy. Again, not the end of the world. It's a sweater that's gonna be worn by kids. It's gonna get messed up. Like, it's not gonna be perfect forever. I am very happy with how they came out. I think they'll be cute. Hopefully, like, proportionally it works. Like, I don't have kids, so I can't like test it on a child, and I also don't have baby clothes, so like I can't hold it up to something, but hopefully they work well enough, at least for a little bit. I think that's mostly it. I have some other projects I'll probably show in a future vlog that I've started since filming all of that, just because this vlog is already kind of long and I don't want to just drag it out with me yapping at you for 45 minutes. So I think we'll end it there. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate you kind of sticking with me through that blip where I didn't do anything for a couple months. Oh, I talked about this in one of the clips that didn't have sound, but I kind of put YouTube in the back seat. So I haven't talked about this on here, but I also have a certified cottage food micro bakery that I run out of my apartment, and I've been trying to focus on that and kind of like scaling that up a little bit and trying to get more customers for that. So that kind of takes up a lot of my weekend time. And then also prepping for the market, you know, that kind of takes up some time. So YouTube just kind of fell to the back seat. But I'm trying to prioritize that again. Market season is almost over, so I don't really need to do much prep for market anymore because I still have a ton of stuff for it, which is nice. So hopefully YouTube will kind of come back at the forefront, and we'll see if we can kind of grow this space as well. So that's the reason why I was a little absent for a couple months, but I'm here now. I'm reinvigorated, remotivated, and hopefully that sticks for a while. So thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.